Oh, what a tangle web we weave when we practice to deceive. And my boy, our guy, G. Bush, has been back in the kitchen, cooking up the Cleveland media like it ain't no thing. Because you know what we represent. We represent that new Cleveland media. You know, we are part of them truth tellers, the people that recognize all of the wrongdoings, the mischaracterizations of people's character, the false statements when they say it's right, but we know it's wrong. We get on these microphones and call them out, even if we err on, because we got the power to do such a thing. But G. Bush stood his ground, and they kind of pissed him off, you know, because of this Brendan Sorsby thing. It's back in effect, because we all know Brendan Sorsby is declaring for the NFL supplemental draft due to his loss of eligibility to play NCAA football. Of course, he was one of the top NIL people in college football with a NIL package of $5 million from Texas Tech University down there in Lubbock. You know, Brendan Sorsby was about to get that bread. But ain't it funny that Brendan Sorsby lost his eligibility and the Cleveland media was screaming up and down that they would like to draft Brendan Sorsby? So much as spending a second round pick on such player with a gambling addiction. And we know all types of bad things happen to people, especially prominent NFL, MLB, soccer players, tennis players, basketball players. They don't live a perfect life. And they do things out of character. And they get in trouble. Some get misdemeanors. Some get felonies. Some are forgiven. And some we never hear from again. But to gamble on your own team is considered a death knell in any type of sport, collegiate sport, professional sport, amateur sport. To gamble on a team that you yourself is playing on is considered the death penalty for any professional athlete. And in college now, we can consider them professional athletes because they make professional athlete money. Give me some. I want to go back to school. I might got 2 more years of eligibility left. Let me see if I can get some in. Gray hair and all. We gonna drop some. We gonna turn into a miniature Steph Curry in a Muggsy Bogues body. You know what I'm saying? We dropping them off. Ain't that damn short. Don't look at me like that. But G. Bush set the kitchen on fire last night. And he wasn't throwing no salt trying to put it out either. But we finna talk about it. We finna let G. Bush cook for a little bit. Y'all ready to let go?
Snacks on the track, so let's get it started.
Oh my God.
Yo, what's poppin'? People, your boy Snacks in the building. Yeah, I'm showing love to the whole community. Auntie, Shedeur, and Coach Prime in unity. And I'm rocking with the new Cleveland, you already know. Much love to G. Bush and K-Sap and Money Man and well off media. They ain't new to the game, to the most high. I gotta give thanks, love, peace out. That's all I gotta say.
G. Bush was in the kitchen. G. Bush was definitely in the kitchen and started a grease fire last night. He didn't throw no salt to try to put the fire out because he stood on 10. And if you didn't see what I saw, let me help you out a little bit, because this Brendan Sorsby situation has got the Cleveland media in a tizzy. But before we even go there, I want to take you elsewhere. I want to take you to understand what the Cleveland media and how they are feeling about young Brendan Sorsby and about his wrongdoing in some people's eyes. So let's go on a trip. Y'all ready? I know I'm ready. I hope y'all ready. Let's go.
On the other hand, I'm thinking, do we really want to bring in another person with baggage that we know has baggage coming in?
Yeah,
I
it's
just
a tough
don't
call.
know.
We debated
I would
it
pass.
yesterday.
I would pass.
Again, as I said yesterday, you as an organization, you have to decide two things: how good is he,
Right.
and how much do you believe his contrition?
Yeah.
You know, are you buying it? I'm sure, like I said yesterday, there's a lot of guys in the league who have addiction issues, and they're playing in the league. I'm okay with them. I would definitely not use a first-round pick. That's too big a risk.
Yeah.
To me,
What's consensus? It'll take a second to get him.
I don't even know. Dane Brugler said today he thought it would be a fourth-round pick.
Wow.
Now, to me, a fourth-round pick is a no-brainer.
Take
Why
a
not
flyer.
take a chance?
If you can get him with a fourth-round pick,
I
do
disagree.
it.
Yeah.
I do not introduce that into the building.
Yeah.
That's what you said about Shedeur. What's the harm? It's a fifth-round pick.
What's the harm? It's a fifth-round pick. This is why G. Bush stood on the table yesterday and had some things to say to the Cleveland media about wanting to draft Brendan Sorsby in the upcoming supplemental draft. Because they have some baseball players that have been in trouble in the past few months. Some suspended and banned probably for the rest of their life from playing baseball ever again. And here you go wanting to draft a kid and put that stain back on the community. G. Bush jumps on the tweets and lets the Cleveland media know that this is what you want to do. This is the hill that you want to die on. And he states, the media raved, rightfully so, about how Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz gambling investigation left a huge stain on the Guardians. Fast forward 6 months, and same media magically, voila, has no issue with Sorsby making thousands of bets on his own team. Selective morality strikes again. Hashtag Browns. Now that's a statement if you ever seen one. But he wasn't done. He steps back up to the mic. Media paints false narratives about Shedeur's character on a daily basis and claims he fell in the draft due to bad interview process. Let me ask you a question. We all know the answer too. If Shedeur bet on his team and was ruled ineligible, would media advocate drafting him? And as you can see, your boy checked a no. Because we all know he has no record nothing in the past. And they don't want him now. If he had done anything close to what Brendan Sorsby has done, the Cleveland media would absolutely lose it. Shedeur is already better than Brendan Sorsby, unlike the rest of the guys I've watched on film. And they had a fit for about a week when Shedeur wore his hat backwards during the game. That he wasn't playing it. That he was just on the sideline holding the clipboard. But they had a very, very big problem with that. But we're not done. Because when you go holler at my boy Josh Hart over at the Dogs podcast, he puts it down and lets you know exactly why Brendan Sorsby is in the situation that he's in.
The Browns summer break wasn't going to get interesting. We got news last night. Quarterback Brendan Sorsby from Texas Tech will be entering the supplemental draft this summer. Okay, a lot to unpack here. Obviously, we've been trying to detail this whole saga, but man, has it ever been difficult. Last week, a Texas judge granted Sorsby an injunction that would allow him to have eligibility and play football for Texas Tech in 2026. And man, did that ever receive some big backlash from not just the NCAA, but from other teams, conferences, the media. I mean, the whole thing was a very big ordeal. Because in a nutshell, what happened is you have this player who the NCAA has ruled ineligible because he was betting and gambling not just on football while he was enrolled at school, but betting on his own team. So then you had other schools and conferences saying, you're not allowed to schedule Texas Tech. We're not going to play them. We're not going to allow them to compete with us because they're bringing back this player onto their team who was essentially ruled out by the NCAA, despite the fact that a judge overruled that and said, yep, you can go ahead and play. I got a note here. Athletic directors at both Georgia, Nebraska, they were vowing to boycott Texas Tech, refusing to schedule them in any sport, not just football, but any collegiate sport. You would not be allowed to play against Texas Tech. The Big 12 even sued Texas Tech on Monday last week, attempting to try to determine whether it had the legal power to sanction the program if Sorsby played. The whole thing, I'm telling you, was a mess. So anyway, Texas Tech, Brendan Sorsby, they've mutually agreed to part ways, and Sorsby is now going to enter the NFL's supplemental draft. And now the big questions become, number one, should the Browns be interested in Brendan Sorsby? Number two, should they bid a draft pick on Brendan Sorsby in the supplemental draft? And number three, if they do, how high of a pick should they bid? Well, who
wants Brendan Sorsby? You waste a pick, and as I showed you in the beginning, if you suck at the end of the season, you're going to have a high draft pick anyway. So what are you going to do? Do what you did in 2025 and draft 2 quarterbacks? That is the question. You draft Brendan Sorsby. Where is he going to get the reps? Or will he even be suspended coming into the league? Will he be allowed to practice? Will he be allowed to be around a team? There are so many questions around all of this. And Cleveland by itself has its very own problem. Deshaun Watson is in your backfield, is one of your main quarterbacks that your fans do not want to see. So adding Brendan Sorsby to that mix, who you talking about stirring the pot? But Josh Hart explains all the things that Brendan Sorsby did, sheds some light on the situation, breaks it down, bets, numbers, all the bad things that has happened. And he's only been to rehab for about a month. He's out now, but clearly has a bad gambling addiction. And my opinion that that rehab was only used to gain eligibility, not to get better. Because with that rehab, a judge, a former judge, a retired judge, who went back to the bench just to rule on this case and give you 2-game suspension and your eligibility back because you went to rehab for 30 days. Make it make sense. But this is the guy Cleveland wants to draft, who is unproven and damn sure everybody should be unsure if he is not still making bets. But you want to see how bad it was? The amounts? The who's, the wins, the where's, the whys? Our guys at the Dog Podcast got you covered.
It's crazy. The college court denied. The NCAA denied Brendan Sorsby's appeal for eligibility after he admitted to placing thousands of sports bets throughout his college career. It's crazy. The college quarterback wagered over $90,000 over his years at Indiana, Cincinnati, and bets were placed as recently as a few months ago after his transfer to Texas Tech. Now, Sorsby recently completed a 35-day stint at a gambling rehab facility in Arizona, and he said his gambling addiction developed during high school and he's never been able to shake it. Sorsby admitted to placing at least 2,900 bets that totaled more than 30 grand while he was the backup at Indiana. At least 40 of those wagers were on his own team. Now, Sorsby says that he never bet on a game in which he saw any playing time, although I'm not really sure how he could know that with absolute certainty beforehand. I mean, you never know when you're going to come into a game due to injury or a lopsided score, so I'm not really sure about that part. But he also claims that he never wagered on Cincinnati while he was the starter there, but apparently he would transfer large sums of money into an account registered to his brother-in-law, where he and his friend would then place their bets. And even this year at Texas Tech, Sorsby placed wagers on different accounts that belonged to 2 of his friends. So there's no denying that Brendan Sorsby knew what he was doing was wrong, but he continued to do it and find creative ways to feed the addiction.
Cleveland, that's what you want. As of this year, the man was still gambling, trying to hide it, using ghost accounts, using friends accounts, using family accounts. This is what you want. Anybody but Shedeur, huh? Anybody but Deshaun, huh? Boy, it's a mess in Cleveland. But y'all know what to do, because we getting out of here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments in the comment section, hit the follow button, do all the things. Brendan Sorsby in Cleveland. I don't see who would want to do it, and I don't understand why you would want to do it. But now that's on them. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go do the doggone thing. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace out.
Yo, what's poppin', people? We back at it again. Big snacks in the building. This talk started on the game, late nights, red eyes, up low grind, 15 summers went by. Call of Duty lobbies, Lil Mike, big dreams. Now it's highlight reels, turning life to a meme. Shedeur on the screen, break the plate, slow it down. Every throw, every drive, every yard, every crown. Sunday talk show, but we chill on the couch. From the Hail Mary, hope to the dog pound out. It's that big snacks wave, let it ride, don't stop. From the sticks to the field, all the way to the top. Showing love to the Lord, to the fam, to the Browns. Serving auntie in the chat like, baby, hold it down. He be saying what we feel, what the game's about. If you rockin' with the kid, throw your comments out. From the start to the sign off, that's what we about. Saying love, peace out, love, peace out.